Coming up on this Caribbean Vibe Houston interview with Joby
I'm still
Jay.
so shocked about it because I don't even have a song released. But as I said, I've been in the creative space. I've worked with a lot of artists. I've been going to the shows. So people are familiar with me. They're just like, oh, that's Joby, you know, she do photography. She always there to show them. She love music, whatever. So much people came out to see me. And I think a big part of that was curated from multiple awards. I actually won Jaria Breakthrough Artist of the Year in 2022, which is, Jaria is
And
a big award to receive in Jamaica,
Right.
as one of the local awards. And even last year, I was in New York for the Caribbean Music Awards. I was nominated as Best New Artist in the reggae category. I believe music is very powerful.
It's very powerful.
I don't think
True.
it's just, music, oh yeah, nice and you dance or whatever. I think music is powerful. Music has the ability to really shift things. So yeah, I think that's the best way I can sum it up.
Nice.
Hey.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
Awesome.
How are you?
I am good. I'm good.
Yeah. So wait, first of all, tell me if this is accurate, right? Because I normally go to Reggaeville and read my bios. And
Mhm.
they had a little, like a short one. I'm like, okay, Reggaeville, you need to lengthen this up now. You know, right? So it says Joby Jay is a soulful and eccentric female artist hailing from Jamaica with a unique sound and vocal texture, which I agree with wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
Fairly new on the scene. She's known for a big girl thing anthem, encouraging females to be the queens they are unapologetically. That's all they have so far. But from what I've researched so far, that's on point, right?
Yes.
So they need to put some style in there. She's got
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my introduction was I was on Instagram, just doing my normal Instagram scroll, killing
Yeah.
time, and I saw this little, I guess you would call it commercial pop up, and this artist was like, "Hey,
Hey.
if you like new artists, you like reggae music, you love good music, then you should listen to this." Bam, and a song play. I was like, "Ooh, that's nice." Then
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you play like what on that little clip about 5 songs.
Yeah. I think I played about six or so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
and
six.
instantly I just went to your Instagram, followed you, and then started doing some research. And I was like, "Yo, Uncle L."
Uh-huh.
Then I reached out to you and you sent me some music, and I was like, "Yo, it's
Mm-hmm.
right." Because a lot of time when people do it, they're promoting themselves, right?
Yeah.
The music don't always be good.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I'm not mad at people for promoting themselves.
Yeah, definitely. You have to believe in yourself, so
Yeah, but in your case, I was like, "Oh, yeah, we need to talk to her, and we need to talk to her ASAP." So, of course, Uncle L books all the interviews, so I had him reach out, and
okay.
here we are.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We always like to get started with a history of, like, how you got started. How old were you? First of all, what part of Jamaica are you from?
I'm from St. Anne. I grew up in Ocherius. Yeah, but I live in Kingston now.
Okay. So St. Anne is where, because I went to Jamaica like once, bro. Like, you know what I mean? We're from Trinidad. We're Trinis.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah. So
I love Trinidad. I can't wait to go there.
yeah, you know what I mean? So when I went to Jamaica, of course, it was only like a 3 or 4 day stay. We stayed at a resort. I had a driver, but we pretty much did I guess the
The
basic.
tourist stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Go to 9 Mile, the bar
Mhm.
party place. I
Yeah.
couldn't smoke because I was with my girl and she don't smoke. So I had to be like, all right, when I come back with my sons, then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we went to Dunn's River Falls and pretty much trip was over. You know what
Okay.
I mean? So I didn't get to tour Jamaica, but while going up 9 Mile, it just reminded me of Trinity. And you see the farmers, the guy with the donkey with his fruit
Yeah.
in there. You saw on the hills, the mountains with, the farm life. And I was like, man, it's just, ooh, the only thing that scared me was the little skinny ass roads. And I'm like, how this big ass truck is
Yeah, we do have some really small roads. Sometimes I'm just like, how does this even work? But it works. We make it work.
Yeah, Joby.
Mhm.
Okay, so look, one time, right, we got to a little space, and we actually had to back up, right, like in a little corner type thing.
Yes, that somebody else could pass.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds
interesting but
accurate.
fun. Yeah. All right. So it's all about nothing about me, right? So take me back, like when you first got started. First of all, what made you believe that, you know what, I can do this singing thing, and where did your influences come from to even say, okay, instead of being a doctor or something, I want to be an artist? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I've been singing all of my life, as soon as I realized that I could sing from like very, very early. I think I realized from I was like in basic school,
Right.
before primary school, I realized that, oh, I have a decent voice. So I was always singing. I sang in basic school. When I was graduating, I led the graduation song with another friend of mine at the
Right.
time. When I
Mhm.
went to primary school, I was doing JCDC. When I was in high school, choir. When I started college, I kind of took a break from singing a lot. And I mean, I grew up in church. I'm a church girl, so I was always singing at church as well.
Right.
And I was just kind of focusing on photography because that's what I studied at school. I went to an art school
Ah,
in Jamaica and I studied photography. So I kind of took a break from like singing as often. But the thing about my college, Edna Manley College, is that it's a visual and performing arts school. So even though I was studying photography, I still always had the love for music. So
right.
always be at music school. I would always be, when the music students had their lunch hour concerts and their final year concerts, I'd always try to go. As long as I didn't have class, I'm gonna be over music school looking at what
Right.
the kids are doing. So yeah, so I always had the interest for music and singing. But for me, I was thinking about what can I do as a career that can actually earn me some income, for sure. So, you grow up and you always hear people being artists and you hear about the music industry, but it didn't seem like something that was sure in terms of me making an income. So I was thinking smart first. I
Right.
just need to know that, when I leave college, I can take care of myself, take some pressure off of my parents.
Right.
Yeah, so when I left college, I really started to dive more into music and I started to explore genres. As I mentioned before, I grew up in church, very conservative church family, Christian family, very religious.
What
So
religion?
Christianity.
No, but what religion in Christianity?
Oh, I grew up in Church of God of Prophecy. That's the denomination that I grew up in.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yes.
I asked because I was Seventh-day Adventist. So when you said strict,
Oh, okay, I get you. I
yeah,
get you.
thank you.
It's not one type.
So my church was basically very similar to a Pentecostal type
Okay.
church, Yeah.
Mm.
So after I left college, I just really started to explore more genres. I had some friends including my manager, who introduced me to like jazz music. So sorry.
No, it's all good.
Jazz music. I
I
started to
hope you
read.
don't ever get mad at me and give me that eye. Oh, that's a serious eye right there.
Yes, I started to check out jazz music. I started to listen to neo soul, and I really started to dive into like R&B, pop, Afrobeat. Really fell in love with Afrobeat. Started to really, really listen to reggae music. I mean, I grew up in Jamaica, so I would always hear reggae music, but
Right.
I really started
Mhm.
to really take it in and take note of it. And I just really fell in love with music. I found myself going to a lot of live shows. Once there was a live show happening that I can go, I am there, and I would always enjoy it. And I would just always be seeing myself on the stage. So even from when I was in college and I was watching the music students, I'd be watching them and I'd be just looking at them saying to myself, like, Joby, you can do that. Like,
Nice.
you can do that, right?
Mhm.
So it just happened that I just started to feel like, okay, now is the time. I was just feeling that vibe. I don't know if it was alignment, just different things were happening in my life at the time. I just felt like, Joby, I think you should really give this music a try.
Right.
And I also feel like that was prompted by the fact that I was at a point in my journey of, becoming a young woman and figuring out myself and understanding, what I like to say and what I like and what I stand for and everything. And I decided that, you know what, I think I can try this music thing. I think I know what I want to do. I have an idea of how I want to present myself, what I want to say in my music, and I think people will, resonate with it. So I just decided to try. I used to do karaoke lives on Instagram on my photography page at the time.
Oh, really?
I used to go live on Sundays and sing karaoke songs. And eventually I made another Instagram page, which is now my music page. And
Right.
I started just like, posting covers because I'm like, okay, I want to do this music thing, but I need people to realize that I can sing and I want to be
Smart.
serious about it. So
Smart.
Mhm.
I started posting covers and all of that. And I remember at the time I messaged a Jamaican producer, JLL, that I know. And I said, hey, can you just meet with me one day? I just want to talk to you. I think I want to get into music. I just want some guidance and some advice. And he met with me and we sat down at Edna and I was just telling him that, hey, I can sing, I want to do music. I think I had sent him Big Girl Thing
Right.
at the time because I had wrote that it wasn't finished, but I had like the verse and chorus. And he was just like, hey, I'd love to work with you. Maybe not now because I have a lot of people I'm working with, but I think you definitely can, do this and it can work. So yeah, I started music because it just felt like the right thing for me to do at the time. And I'm happy that I started when I did because I always say this, I love music, not just only as somebody who can sing. I love music genuinely. I
Right.
love to enjoy music. I love to hear people sing. I love to go to a live show. I love to listen to music. I've always been that girl. Just love music. I was listening to music. I was a play music, So I wanted to make sure that when I made the decision to do music, it was something that felt right
Right.
and it was something that I was going into with a lot of intentionality because I believe music is very powerful.
It's very powerful.
I don't
True.
think it's just, oh, music, oh yeah, nice and you dance and whatever. I think music is powerful. Music has the ability to really shift things. So yeah, I think that's the best way I can sum it up.
Nice. When everything that you just said, right? When I listen to your music, I can hear it in there. You
Yes.
can hear intentionality.
Yeah.
You hear the different influences of different genres of music. Like you can literally sing anything.
Thank you. Thank
You know what I
you.
mean? Reggae is your thing, right? But when you
Yeah.
listen to the music and the tone of voice and the vibration and the energy you get from it is like, oh, this person is serious, but she's really good. I mean,
Thank you.
you wouldn't be here if he was really good. You know what I mean? I felt like it also kind of selfishly, I'm like, okay, I want to be one of the first people. I don't know how many interviews he did already, but I'm like, she's gonna blow up.
Yeah,
And we want to be
exactly.
like, like, hey, man, because we pride ourselves on that, right? Of course,
Yeah.
when we started this series, our first interview was Mortimer. We did Warrior King. We did Samurai. We
Nice.
just did Kalia Tuesday.
Right. I love Kalia. I love
Oh,
her.
man, great
We
interview.
did a show
Yeah.
together in Reggae Month
Oh,
where
really?
she was performing and Kelly Shane, who is another upcoming reggae artist.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
we're going after her too.
nice. So yeah, I love Kalia. She's good vibes.
Yeah, man. So, big girl thing, right?
Mhm.
You said you sent that to him. Where did you record it at home? Like, what did you send him exactly? Did you go to the studio and record, or did you just send him you record like out on your phone or something? You know what I mean? Like,
All right. So JLL, who's the first producer I spoke to when I wanted to get into music, he's not the actual person who produced Big Girl Thing,
right.
right? So the producer for Big Girl Thing is Barboya, along with my manager, Danilo. And it just so happened that in 2019, when I really started my journey, I did 2 live shows. The second one was very, very significant because after that second performance, my career just started to go upwards and,
Right.
here we are. But I performed the Big Girl Thing even before it was released and it was well received. Like people really liked it. So when I was like, okay, what is going to be my first single? For me, I was thinking that I want my first single to set the tone for my career. I want my first single to be something that people can say, oh, this is what she's about, So I wrote Big Girl Thing. I thought it was a good song. And my manager, who wasn't my manager at the time, she was just like, okay, I think this can be a first single. It's well written. Let's just work on it and see what happens. So Barboy produced that song and it didn't have any instrumental. I didn't write it to a rhythm. I literally was just walking in my room one day and I got the melody for the song and I started singing, I'm sorry if you never get to treat me like you want to treat me. I'm gonna say, oh, what is that? Where did it come from? Because at the time, people always laugh when I say this. When I wrote Big Girl Thing, I wasn't going through any of the things I said in the song.
It sounds like it.
I wasn't going through a breakup. Nobody never troubled me. Like I was fine. I was single and happy, minding my own business, So it wasn't really a personal thing,
Right.
but I got the inspiration and I mean, I'm not gonna find the inspiration. If I get the inspiration, I'm gonna work with it,
Right.
So I just finished the song, but it was produced based on just a vocal demo that I had on my phone with no instrumental and Barboya did his thing. He did his thing with instrumentals. And it was important for me for my first single, especially because I'm going into reggae. I wanted
Right.
it to really be live instruments. So we got all the instruments live, like live, everything, the drums, the keyboard, the bass, the guitar. I have video clips of when we were creating the song. And it was just such an experience. It was a good experience for me, as a new artist to see, how a track is made and the layers and all the
Right.
work that has to go into it. So yeah, it was just created from
Wait,
scratch.
Let's just like a little piece of Big Girl Thing, just
Yeah.
so folks could understand what you're talking about.
All right, no problem.
Joby Jay. Me sorry if you never get for treat me like you want for treat me. Me nah go make you take your dirty foot and walk over me. Not a toy for you to treat how you please. Use me, abuse me, and then you leave. I'm a big girl now, thick skin, strong bones. I'm at your mind, and yes, a girl that knows that karma is a bitch, so I will leave it be. Me nah go stress myself and take the work from thee. Big girl team, say me nine and my laughing team. Say me nine and my ramping team. Eventually, your true colors will show.
Oh my God!
If all you do is waste my time, no add no value to my life.
Bro, it's like
Lyrics.
if I didn't know this story, I'm like, that girl was going through something when she wrote that song.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Listen to this.
Me sorry if you never get for treat me like you want for treat me. Me nah go make you take your dirty foot and walk over me. Not a toy for you to treat how you please. Use me, abuse me, and then you leave. I'm a big girl now, big skin, strong bones.
Okay, maybe I'm doing too much, right? But you switch, like that's a natural reaction. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's make me want to flex. Like,
Yeah.
golly, man. Like,
Me sorry if you never get for treat me like you want for treat me. Me nah go make you take your dirty foot and walk over me. Not a toy for you to treat how you please. Use me, abuse me, and then you leave. I'm a big girl now, thick skin, strong bones. I'm at your mind, and yes, a girl that knows that karma is a bitch, so I will leave it be. Me nah go stress myself and take the work from thee. Big girl team, say me nine and my laughing team. Say me nine and my ramping team. Eventually, your true colors will show. I'm in a ramp for cut you off. If all you do is waste my time, no add no value to my life. I have to be selective with my space and my energy. Me say me sorry if you never get for treat me like you want to treat me. Me nah go make you
Big tune.
yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And the lyrical content too, like you said, your manager said, is well written. Before we start about this one more song, I want to play. I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
This song, right? This one is called Queen.
Yeah.
One time me never think me did worth it. Me never think me coulda make it. I couldn't see beyond the clouds. The negative thoughts in my head was so loud. I didn't think I was the prize. Always feeling the need to hide. Then one day it hit me that I am royalty. Woman, you are a queen.
I'm gonna tell you why, in my opinion, that's such an important song for not just for women, but for men, for anybody, any race, any creed, any cult. I don't care if you come from Jamaica, Trinidad, Germany, I don't know, Bangladesh. I don't know. You're right.
Yeah.
The fact that most of us are in our own head, our very own head.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? In our very own head, in our own personal brain, a lot of times stop us from moving forward because we don't believe enough. And we believe, and I struggled with that for a long time. I believed in everybody else more than I believed in myself because I didn't even know that I didn't value myself.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
when I first heard this song, the lyrics just hit me from jump because you were talking about me too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you know, now the other song didn't come from personal experience, but did this come from personal experience in a way? Like, did you actually feel like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I wrote Queen was my second single, coming off of the heels of Big Girl Thing, and the nature of the rhythm and the whole project for this song is really what inspired it. But I also definitely took from my personal life.
Right.
As I said before, when I started music, I also was at a point where I was really diving into who is Joby Jay and, exploring and really trying to understand who I am as a person, as a woman. So it was an all-female rhythm. So that song is actually on a juggle rhythm, and it was an all-female project. So like it was female reggae artists from all over the world was on that project. So I was just like, you know what can I say that will be fitting for just the nature of the project, but also something that can encourage women as well, and let people do some introspection when they hear the song, because I feel like it's easy for us as women to, we get lost in the sauce, and there's so much noise as it relates to who we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to behave, and it can be distracting. So for me, I wanted Queen to be a song to remind women that, you are a queen, you are worthy, you are beautiful, you are capable, you are strong. You're definitely gonna get some fight, but it's about how you persevere. It's about the things that you tell yourself. So even when in the song, when I say, I know what it's like feeling like there's a constant fight. You don't like what you see, but keep the faith, my girl, and watch your words become your destiny.
Right.
I've had to do that in my life many times. Even sometimes now, when I get discouraged, I have to remind myself that, Joby, you're on the right path, you're doing the right things. And then when I have different experiences that remind me that I'm doing the right thing, when I can have people of all ages and all stages reaching out to me about the impact my music has on them, those are the things that remind me that you are doing the right thing. Remember that you said years ago that you were going to do music. Look at where you are now. You said it and it's happening. So continue to speak positive things to yourself and affirm yourself. So that's really what Queen is about. I just want women to remember that, we're queens. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uncle L?
So I wonder. So, I mean, what is your biggest win so far? Like, what would you say has been your biggest win?
Yeah. Wow, I've had so many wins. I mean,
nice.
Good.
There's been a lot of like positive highlights in my career. I'm so grateful. I've been nominated for multiple awards. I actually won Jaria Breakthrough Artist of the Year in 2022, which is, Jaria is a big award to receive in Jamaica, as one of the local awards. And even last year, I was in New York for the Caribbean Music Awards. I was nominated as Best New Artist in the reggae category. I didn't win. Rasai won. Big ups to him. Love Rasai.
Right.
So yeah, I've had many, positive experiences, but I think these days more than ever, a win for me is when people just come up to me and tell me that they love my music. When people message me from all over the world, people who I don't even speak their language, can tell me that they resonate with a song that I create. The other day I was in Halfway Tree because DJ AG online was here and he was doing rounds with all the artists, and I made sure to get on there. And while I think it was after I performed, I was hearing somebody behind me say, Joby, Joby. And I turned around and it was like a young boy. He looked like he was probably like in grade 10 or grade 11.
Right.
And he was like, hi, Joby, I just wanted to say I love your music. And I was just like, wow, thank you so much. And then he walked away with his friend. And I've had experiences as well where I'm in some parts of Jamaica that I think nobody knows me. And here I am having a deep conversation with a random old man who is probably like in his 70s about my music, and those things are just so wild to me. And I'm so grateful that I can have people of all ages and all stages relating to my music, and that is truly my goal. I really want to make music that children can hear and love it, young adults can hear and love it, and the older people can hear it and still love it and appreciate it. So I think that's my biggest win right now. I'm just happy that I'm connecting with people. That is what I've always wanted to do with my music. I want to connect with people, and I want people to hear the music and feel good, be prompted to think, be prompted to do some introspection, and to just, appreciate the simple things in life, like what I say in Cool Breeze. So that's my biggest win, honestly. That's my biggest win. I just love people, tell me that, yeah, I love your music. That's it for me.
Okay, that's good. And it's amazing because I kind of, listening to, your songs and hearing you talk. I mean, hearing you talk, I could understand it, but it's just I think what's really cool is that you seem to have a really good songwriting ability.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And I'd love for you to kind of give us a little perspective on like how did you get it? Because to be honest, that's the kind of thing that I know people would bottle up and sell if they could, you know. So I mean, how did you think you were blessed with that, and how do you develop and maintain and improve it?
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes when I write songs, I'm just like, so how did you do that?
That's honest.
No, I swear, like sometimes I write songs and I'm just like, okay, so like what I was saying before with the big girl thing, when I wrote that song, when I worked on it and I finished the first verse and the chorus, I was just like, where did that come from? You know, when I was growing up, I used to write poems, not like a lot, but I used to play around and write poems, and I wrote a few songs, but it wasn't something that I did to the point where you would think that, oh, she's been doing this for like years and that's how she's. I promise you, I think it's just my love for music over the years. So like when I was in high school, I was always that girl who had on headphones. If we were going on a church trip, I'm usually the designated DJ. You know, I just love music. So I think because I've been listening to music for so many years and really taking it in, I just learned indirectly how to, put a song together. I didn't really get any professional training, any tips. I just know that I get melodies, I write down the ideas or I record the ideas, and then I take my time and I'll go on my phone and I'll say, okay, what else do I want to say in this verse? How can I come up with a chorus that's catchy, that people can remember? And I think the more I've done it is the better I'll get. Now, 5 years into doing music, I definitely try my best to watch a lot of interviews with artists, talking about their journey. If I can go to a workshop or if I can watch a workshop or a conference where people are talking about songwriting, I try my best to do that. But at first, it was just something that I think is a gift because sometimes I really don't know how I write the songs that I write. I swear to you, so I think it's mostly a gift, but I've definitely been trying now that I'm more aware as an artist to definitely work on it. And sometimes I doubt myself. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, I feel like this could be better. And I've had a few songs that I do collaborate on, and I'm the person who I like to get feedback as much as possible. So for example, songs like Bear, that was a collaborative effort. I wrote that with the producers as well as Mario Spencer. TLC, I got some help to write TLC last time. Yeah, so in terms of songwriting, I just try my best to first be honest. I want to be honest when I'm writing music because I think if I'm writing it from a real place, it will resonate more. And then I just try to think about some of the songs that I love, some of the songs that are classics, but what are some of the elements in those songs that I can also put into my songwriting? Sometimes you have all these ideas and you want to put it in so many words, and it's just like, does it have to be all those words? Can I simplify it, or is it one of those songs where I just want to spit lyrics? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I try my best to think about, the other songs that are hits, that are well written, and try my best to see how I can implement that in my songwriting.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
that's awesome, man. And Uncle, I know you're coming back, but let me say this too: you're also a great interview. You know
Thank
what I mean?
you. Thank you.
You speak well, and when we ask you a question, you dive in and give an answer. And I noticed that with a lot. Even when we was interviewing Kalia, she kind of did the same thing. You know what I mean? They speak well. Uncle El can tell you stories about some huge artists we interviewed. Some huge artists we interviewed that had huge songs and huge followings, and it was some of the worst interviews that we have ever done.
Listen, I know. You don't have to explain because I've seen them. I'm just like, okay, but you didn't answer the question. What are you saying? It's a problem.
I'll give you an example. I'm not gonna call no name, but I will say, let me say 1, 2, 3. 3 words. Shizzle my nizzle.
Oh my God.
You're wrong for that, Neil. You're wrong for that.
Hey man, I didn't call no names, bro.
Yeah. And even that, you know, and I'm grateful for that compliment. Even that is something that I am still working on. Sometimes my manager is just like, Joby, you're really good at interviews, but you talk very fast. So like these days when I do interviews, I'm trying to remind myself to slow down, girl. Slow down. Because my thoughts are moving so fast. So even with that, there's still areas where I see where I can improve on, and I'm doing my best to improve on it. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of artists don't. I think in Jamaica, based on what I've seen,
Right.
because as an artist, I also pay attention to a lot of artists. Even if I don't listen to your music, I'm looking at what artists are doing, how they're presenting themselves, how they're speaking in an interview. You know, a lot of artists don't realize that, okay, you may have a hot song, you may be getting a lot of shows, you're touring, you're doing all the things, and that is great. But you also need to be able to talk about your music. You also should be able to talk about your process, because people like your music and they connect with your music, but they also want to know, okay, so how did you come up with this song? How was your studio session? You know, stuff like that. And I feel like that is something that we really have to, you know, put more emphasis on, being able to actually talk about your art and talk about your work. And I think one of the reasons why I'm able to manage interviews, and I actually enjoy interviews because I love talking about music,
Right.
is because I watch a lot of interviews. I watch
Nice.
a lot of interviews. So
Okay.
I'm watching the Breakfast Club interviews, I watch the Apple Music interviews, whatever interview I can see with artists, I try my best to watch them, because I love to hear people talking about their music and talking about, you know, what inspired this song or their challenges as an artist, or, you know, what it is like touring. I love to hear people talk. So I think that has also helped me to know how to manage myself, because I watch a lot of interviews. So
Okay, so you know what I'm gonna ask before I ask it, right?
no, but you don't.
Oh my God. Oh, you're so honest. We love you. Go ahead.
It's all good. No, it's all good. It's all good. So you talk a little bit about you know, performing and you know, can you give some experiences like when you've performed like some big shows, or you know, some performances that really kind of set you apart, or kind of put you on the map and that sort of thing?
All right, cool. So let's go back to 2019 when I just started music in August. That's even before I released Big Girl Thing, which is my first single. In August, I did my second performance as Joby Jay, and it was at an acoustic show in Kingston called Unplugged, right? That acoustic show was happening in 2019, and it was hot. Like Mortimer was on it,
Nice.
Amanye was on it, Black Hero, a couple artists were on that show, and it was something that people would really look forward to in the reggae scene in Kingston. So, as I said, may I start out in a music? I went to the persons who I knew were putting on the show, and I said, hey, if I could just open for the actual artist, I would really appreciate it. If it's even for me to sing one song, if it's even a verse and a chorus, please. I just want to sing. Please give me a chance, you know. And luckily, the promoters for the show, they were familiar with me, because even though I was doing photography, I was always at the live shows, as I mentioned before. So people kind of got used to seeing me in the space around
Nice.
music, like that. So he was familiar with me as a photographer, but he didn't really know that I could sing. I think he probably saw a video or something like that. So he was just like, all right, cool, no problem, you can open. So I went to that show, and I mean, weeks before I was rehearsing, I got my band together. Big ups to my manager who helped me to do that at the time. And we rehearsed, and I performed two of my originals. I performed Big Girl Thing, Mood. They were well received. And I also performed a Vybz Kartel medley. No,
Kartel, okay.
Vybz Kartel
Okay.
medley is what really sent the whole performance and even my career like upwards. So that medley was just shocking to everyone, because first of all, I knew people wouldn't expect it from me, and I also knew that people, they haven't heard his songs in that way, because you guys are listening to me, you know how I sound when I sing,
Right.
right? I'm very
Right.
soulful, very exactly. So imagine me singing Vybz Kartel, right?
Which Kartel songs?
So it was a medley. So it was songs like Thank You Joy, it was songs like Unstoppable, it was songs like geez, so much songs, but those are some examples of some of the songs. So
Right.
my manager helped me to arrange those songs. I was just like, you know what, what if I arrange some of my favorite Vybz Kartel songs, the ones that are more on the conscious side, and present it to people in a way they've never heard before? So I had the idea, the raw idea, and my manager helped me to arrange it and put it together and rehearsed it, and I was so excited to perform it. When I started that medley, the place pop up. The place pop up, deck start knock, it was pandemonium, okay? People loved it. So I had to pull it up, sang it again, and I think I performed it again after because people wanted to hear it again. It was well received. People loved it. People still talk about it to this day when they see me. They're just like, Joby, aren't you gonna release it? Like, it's so good, you know. It's on YouTube, so if you guys want to check it out,
I was waiting for you to finish talking to
check it
me.
out.
Like, yo, can I go see that somewhere?
No, you can check it out. It's on YouTube. If you type in Joby Jay Vybz Kartel medley, it will come up and you will see the whole crowd reaction and everything. It was
Okay.
so that was a performance that always sticks out to me because fun fact also, I was supposed to open that show because remember I asked to be an opener?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Opener? Yeah. I ended up closing that show. You know, I ended up closing that show. I think when they realized how much people came out to see me, they were just like, oh, we gonna switch it around. I was supposed to open the show. I ended up closing the show. So many people turned out to see me. To this day, I'm still so shocked about it because I don't even have a song released. But as I said, I've been in the creative space. I've worked with a lot of artists. I've been going to the shows. So people are familiar with me. They're just like, oh, that's Joby, you know, she do photography. She always there to show them. She love music, whatever. So much people came out to see me. And I think a big part of that was curiosity. I think a lot of people came out because they were just like, why we have to Joby face on a flyer? Like, she artist. So I think apart from my friends who know that I can sing from a long time, I think a lot of people came up because they were just really curious, you know. So yeah, that's one performance that always sticks out in my mind. I'm so happy that Mood was well received by the crowd. Big Girl Thing was well received as well. So that performance sticks out in my mind, and we can jump to, you know, 5 years later here in 2025. The performance I did the other day at Dub Squad live for Reggae Month, the same show that Kalia was on and Kelly Shane.
Right.
I really love the performance, and it sticks out in my mind because a lot of people, you know, gave me compliments after that performance, and I really wanted to give that performance my best, and that's something that I've really been working on. I really want to make sure that my live performances are good because yes, I can sing and I sound beautiful on a track, but I also want to make sure that when you hear me live, you're just like, wow, she can sing for real, or even better. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important for me for my live performances to be good, for my vocals to be good, and not just the vocals, but just the whole vibe, you know, how do I show my personality on stage, you know? So I did that performance and it was well received, and I'm just very proud of it, you know, because also Lila was there at that performance and she gave me compliments about it after. Janine was in that crowd and I loved
Janine.
Literally.
That's Uncle L's girl, by the way.
Listen, biggest influences. I talk about Janine in every single interview that I do. So for me to do that performance, and I remember after, because I wear glasses and I didn't perform with my glasses that night, when I came off the stage, I was just like, Danny, was that Janine in the crowd? And she was just like, yeah. And she was rocking the whole time. And I was just like, wow, I cannot believe that, you know, Lila, who is also one of my influences.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Really respect in the industry. And I took a photo with two of them after the show, and I was just like, I have to print this photo because I have a photo with Janine and a photo with Lila, and they're so important to me, you know, as women who I can look on, who's doing it and succeeding and doing such a good job. So that is another performance that I'm just really proud of. I think I really did my best to be present, perform the songs, and also have fun, you know, and also make people laugh, because people always tell me that Joby, you're so hilarious, and that's something I've been working on showing more when I perform.
Right.
So it's about, oh, she can sing, but she's also such a vibe. She's so funny. So that's what I've been working on. And for me these days, every time I do a performance, I'm trying to challenge myself on just how I can be better, how can I connect with people. And let me tell you, Jamaican people are not easy to please.
Right. Even the ones here in Houston. Trust me. Okay.
Yep.
Jamaican people will stand or sit and look at you like this.
True. True.
And you'll be good. And
Yeah.
I've seen it happen to other artists, and they will be good. They'll be up there singing out their heart. but you have to find a way to connect with people. And that is what I've learned in terms of performing. You can look good and you can sound amazing, but like if they are not feeling it, they're just gonna stand and look at you like this.
Yeah, with that face.
Yeah, with that face.
Yeah. I've experienced it when I first started DJing here. You're Trini boy playing reggae music. I've experienced it. And I want to say something to you, right? Sometimes, well, most of the times, like people don't know how special they are. You are special.
Thank
You also, what you did in the interview so far, you kind of gave a blueprint of how it should be done. You know what I mean? As far as like your work ethic, not being afraid to go to promoters and say, "Hey, man, can I get on the show? Can I open for the show?" Right? Not like, "Man, put me on the show. I'm good." Like, just let me. If I got to do a verse, a verse and a hook, right? But then what you did after that, you didn't just say, "Okay, they'll let me get up. I'll just get up there and do one song." You went home, got with your manager. You got a band together. Put some just in case you had the opportunity to do more. You know what I mean? And you put the Vybz Kartel medley together, which I'm going to look at as soon as we get off this interview.
Yeah, that's genius.
That's genius, right?
You're gonna trust me.
Even how you speak about, you know, when you write songs or your approach of watching interviews, your just approach and the way how you do things, even though it might just be you, right? Even talking about your comedic side and connecting with people. I watched the interview last week, I believe, and you know, a short on Instagram, and the guy said, you know, a good song is a good song, but people go out to meet people, right? Chris Brown has good music, but people pay $1,000 to go to the meet and greet because Chris Brown is Chris Brown, the person, as opposed to just singing music. You know what I mean? I'm telling you something. And there are some special artists that we interviewed, you know, some names that pop up is Lila Iké, is Mortimer, is Jalil. It's a whole host of artists we've interviewed.
Love Jalil. Oh my God. Love him.
Come on, man.
I mean, he's awesome.
Dude
The other day, I hope we're not getting in trouble for this. But the other day he messaged me and he was just like, "Joby, you know my other song, I feel like more upon." And I'm just like, I'm ready.
Oh, for real? Hey. Nice.
But you know, maybe there's gonna be a Joby Jay and Joe collab. You know what I'm saying? I'm so excited.
Joby, I think they're gonna be Joby Jay and a lot of collabs. I think there will be a Lila Iké collab. I think there'll be a John Iron collab. I think there'll be a Mortimer collab. I think there'll be a Kalia collab. You are special. Look, I watched just a little. I don't know how long was that clip you posted? A minute, 2 minutes with the songs?
Yeah, I think it was like almost 2 minutes. Yeah.
And instantly I was like, "Oh, I'm a fan. I didn't know of her before this, but I know now." You know what I mean?
People said that in the comments. They were just like, "You know what? I like you. I'm gonna check out the music."
It's your person. It's you. You are the type of person that we are just interested in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when you go hear the music and the lyrical content of the music, you know what I mean? The way how you write, the way how you know. It's
important these days. Sorry, I'll just
go ahead, continue.
It's important these days, just with all that's going on in the world and the way people are, that, you know, music should uplift.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we need it. We need it so much. Yeah.
Needed. Yeah.
And we're not trying to gas you. Like, you know what I mean? If you
I
wasn't,
know.
if you wasn't good, you wouldn't even be here. Like,
Right.
you know, because we Uncle Ed and I are the same, right? First of all, we really love the culture type of music. We play dancehall because there's some good stuff coming out, right?
Definitely.
But there's some music that we won't play, not because we hating on the artist. It's just not our thing. We don't want to spread a certain message. So if you're talking about killing people, then I'm not gonna play that. You know what I mean? If you're talking about something extremely explicit, then we probably won't play that.
Yeah.
But you know, we understand that you may grow up a certain way, and you know what I mean. It's not for me to judge, right?
Yeah.
But when we come across certain artists, it's like, oh, whoa, we have to talk to this person. And then when we talk to the person, and it's like we're like, oh man, we love this girl right here, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And since you're giving big ups, I did want to big up your manager too.
Yeah.
'Cause your manager was the first person that ever made us write an application to interview somebody. Because they were like, because we reached out, we were like, hey, we want to have an interview. They're like, okay, so what's the interview gonna be about? What's it like? It's like a whole bunch of stuff, and I filled it out. I was like, okay, well, answer the question. This is what we want to do, and then immediately they were like, okay, set up
Yeah.
interview.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm very happy you said that, and I have to take some time to just give her flowers. Like, I'm so grateful. Like, why do I feel like I want to get emotional talking about it? Because Daniela has been with me literally from the very beginning of my career. Like, and when I did the unplugged performance, which is the one I told you that, I ended up closing the show, and that performance was so good and everything went up from there. She was with me when I had the idea. Even before I got opportunity to do that show, I was just like, hey, Danny, I want to put myself out there as a singer. I want to do some covers. I know that she is very musically inclined in terms of she's very good at like arrangements, and she can tell me what note to sing and what harmony to put there, and she's very, very good at that. So at that time, just knowing her as my friend, I said, hey, I want to do this, help me with it. And she would show up to my rehearsals to help me to rehearse these things to do. And as I said before, she helped me to arrange the whole Kartel medley. She helped to produce Big Girl Thing. And when we started working at first, I was just like, hey, so do you want to be my manager? Do you want to be my manager? And at first she was just like, boy, I don't know, because she's done it before. She's been in the industry. She's worked with a couple artists, couple big names too. And she was just like, boy, I don't know if I want to do that again. She was kind of very, very apprehensive. I'm just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna leave her. And then maybe like a week after, I'll be like, oh, so do you want to be my manager again? Because she was helping me with everything. She started to help me with my emails, and she was just like, okay, Joby, do this, and she helped me with artist development and all of these things. This is what you need to do. This is how you take care of your voice. This is how you carry yourself in an interview. This is how she was just there, like, helping me with everything. So when we finally, signed the paper and did the contract, and she has been my manager from then to now, I'm just so grateful, because this is a friend, who knows who I am as a person, understands what I'm trying to do with my music, understands my message, who has just been with me along the way. And she is my biggest cheerleader. And when it is time for her to correct me and scold me, she does that too. And I'm very grateful, because that was
my next question.
So yeah, I'm not perfect. So even right now, I have a WhatsApp message from her I need to go read, because yeah, you understand? So I just want to give her flowers, because she works really hard. She makes a lot of sacrifices. A lot of times she has shown up when she didn't feel the best. She has shown up when she could have done other things. There's a lot of people in the industry who she could choose to work with, and there's people who are always trying to work with her because they see what she has been doing with me. But she has chosen to stick by me and really help me to achieve this dream that I have for myself. And I just think that's beautiful. I'm just want to big her up. She don't play. She is very professional, very serious about what she's doing. And I'm very, very happy to have her along in my journey, because I also want to have a certain standard for how I do everything as it relates to my music. So I'm happy that I have somebody who understands that and is gonna keep that standard no matter what, just wanted to
go ahead,
her because she does it.
Yeah, man, big up to her. So give me an instance where she had to check you. I'm curious.
Wow.
Well, at least one of them.
What was it? Okay. There was a song that I was recording. There was a studio session. I don't remember if it was for Mood. I think it was for Mood, when I was recording Mood. And I think maybe just my whole energy and how I was relating to everybody, even the producers, I think, I guess I was, giving attitude in a way. And I mean, that's not really me as a person. I really try to be very, respectful. But for whatever reason, I didn't deal with that whole session the best way, and it kind of ended on a vibe. And she made sure to be like, hey, like, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. There's a way how you go about certain things, and it's not only me that felt weird. The producers also felt, weird about how you were dealing with the whole situation. So that is one instance. But yeah, she gotta check me. She gotta check me when we need to get checked. Well, no questions asked.
Yeah. let me play devil's advocate, right? Because I mean, the name of the song was Mood, so maybe you were supposed to be in it.
But yeah. And I think looking back at it, it was just so interesting because I think what prompted that whole thing was I was adamant that something needed to be re-recorded,
Right.
and they were just like, the original version is really good, but I was just like, nah, it has to be re-recorded, and da, da, da. And it's so funny because we had a whole second session for the song, and we ended up using the first
session. So
because
they
it
was
was
right.
it was good, like, but as artists, sometimes you get in your head, and just one of those things. As a creative, you get very sensitive, and you just want to make sure that everything is perfect.
Speaking of being a creative, right? It's one of my favorite questions as of late because I ask Aaliyah the same question. The answer is always interesting. So, what do you enjoy most? Creating the product, right? Product is a song, of course. Recording the product or performing the product?
That's hard. I think years ago, first 3 years, Joby Jay would probably say the creating process.
Right.
And I mean, mark you, I love the creating process. Okay, it's just it's always so interesting to me to see how a song moves from an idea. Especially for me, most of my songs I actually start writing them without an instrumental. I'm moving away from that now. I really want to write to instrumentals more now, but in the earlier part of my career, most of my songs I didn't have any instrumental. I just have a melody and I record it. But it's just always so interesting to see how a song moves from this idea on my phone to this whole track with all these layers and all these instruments and the BGVs and the ad-libs and the effects and how it's mixed and everything. So I love the creating process, but I think these days more than ever I'm really enjoying performing it.
Right.
I think that's where I am right now. I'm really enjoying performing it because you can have fun when you're performing the song. You can arrange it a little bit different. You can put in some instruments that, wasn't in the original track. You can give it another vibe. You can do a remix. You can add another song, like another popular song on your rhythm. And that's what I've been playing around with. So I think these days I'm really enjoying performing it and just seeing how people react to it and hearing the crowd sing with me and all that stuff. So these days I think I'm enjoying performing it the most.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uncle
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uncle L, go ahead, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always say that, Joby. I tell people this in every, because if you notice, I talk a lot and I sometimes tend to take over the interviews. Don't know how to pull back. Go ahead, bro.
Well, it's like a yin and a yang, so
True.
it's all good. So talk about obviously we talked about some of the influences that you had, but can you talk about and this is dream casting, so feel free to go big. Like collaborations, people that you would love to work with, or maybe that you have already worked with and haven't, that's just waiting to be released. But talk about and really just talk about the kinds of artists that you want to work with or you have in mind of working with.
Okay. Wow, there's so many people who I want to collab with. For me, locally right now, I've always wanted to work with Mortimer. I think our voices would work nice together. I also really want to work with Romain Virgo. Love Romain Virgo. And he's also been like very supportive of my journey and my career. He's so nice. Have so much respect for him. I recently told my team that I really want to work with Diani. I love him as a singer, as a writer, as a performer. I think that would be dope. I've also always wanted to work with Runkus Royal Blue because I'm just such a fan of their
okay. Man,
such a fan of their style. And Runkus is also a really great producer, so I would love even if he could produce something for me as well. In terms of female artists, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Amanie. She's like a dancehall, amapiano, fusion artist out of Jamaica. Really dope. You guys should check her out. She's also a dancer, so like her performances are lit, but like her sound is very, very unique. Her voice is unique, so I think we could do something really cool because we have such like contrasting vibes. I would love to work with Janine. That would be like a dream. Okay, that would be great. Yeah, I'd love to work with him.
I'm here for that.
Internationally, I love Alicia Keys. If I could work with Alicia Keys, that'd be nice. And especially because she's also an instrumentalist. So I love to work with people who play instruments because I think they have like a different perspective on music and songwriting and everything. So Alicia Keys would be great as like a person internationally that I would want to work with. If I could get a Lauryn Hill, you know, collab, that would be crazy. I'd have to really try to compose myself though, because I feel like I would be very starstruck. So I'd probably need a minute. You know, I'd probably need a minute, but yeah, those are some collabs that I want to do.
Those are some great ones, man. Each name you called was like, yeah, we could see that. You know what I mean? I know Uncle Ed especially loved the John Iron one. That's why he said, I'm here for that. You know?
Yeah, Janine is she's good. She's good, you know. And it's you know, when she took that little break from the scene, you know, it was a little sad, but I'm glad that she's back.
Yeah, she was missed. Oh my God, she was missed. When she popped back out, I was just like, yeah, the queen is here. Everybody shut up. Everybody shut up. Okay. The queen is back. Everybody be quiet, please.
The queen is here.
Right, yeah, like love her, you know, she's so dope.
Hey man, I you know, and forgive me if I did poor research, right? But I didn't see a EP or album yet. Is there one? And if not,
yes. So you mean to tell me that you are so excited just about the singles? So you've only heard my singles?
Yes.
Haven't heard my EP?
I'm keeping it 100.
It's a love levels. It's a love levels.
You got a lot of research to do after. So you're gonna Vybz, Kartel, medley, and you're gonna check out the EP.
Yes.
But if you love Big Girl Thing, if you love Queen, you're gonna love the EP. I'm telling you, because my EP. So I released my EP in 2023 in April. Yeah, and that was my first body of work. It's called Love Levels, and it's about levels of love. You know.
Oh, you know what? I am.
Yeah, they did send it to us. They did send it to us.
No, look, Real Love, Last Time, Prove It, Share, TLC, Feelings.
Right. Yeah.
I was just testing you. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't.
So
it's right in front of me.
From the beginning of my career, after, you know, I released Big Girl Thing, I released Queen, I released Mood, and people were just like, Joby, you have such a beautiful voice. Like, we want some love song. We want some love song, girl. Understand? Yeah, empowerment. Yeah, woo. But we want some love songs, girl. We want some sexy songs. So I was just like, okay, I hear you guys. I hear you guys. So it just so happened that in 2022, or was it 2021? End of 2021,
right.
I came out of a relationship and I was shattered, okay? I was going through it. I
feel you. Been there, done that.
And, you know, knowing me and just how most of my music is really from a very personal place,
right.
I started working on an EP and Love Levels just happened. When I started working on my project, it wasn't Love Levels at first. It was supposed to be something else with a whole other vibe. But, you know, life happened and I just started to write a lot of songs that had to do with love, because that is what I was going through. You know, I was processing just my whole relationship, how things ended, and also looking forward to, you know, finding love again and being in love. And I always tell people that I'm a hopeful romantic. I'm not hopeless, you know.
Right.
Full. So no matter what happens, I'm always excited to love again. You know, I'm never gonna be like, oh yeah, niggas ain't shit.
Right.
And you know, I'm not that type of
person. Right. Because a lot of people do that. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. And it's I understand, you know, I understand. Sometimes you're just traumatized and you're just like, you know what, I'm done. Which is fair. But for me, I don't think about love in that way. I have a very abundant mindset when it comes to love. So I just started to write what I was going through. I was writing, you know, about how it feels to lose somebody that you love, how it feels to, you know, love again. I was writing about the love that I want to receive in the future, even before I fell in love again. I wrote Bear and I wrote Real Love at the end of the breakup. So when I was going through the breakup and I was so hurt, I wrote Real Love and I wrote Bear, because I was just like, you know what? The next time I go into a relationship, this is the type of love that I want.
Right.
So that whole EP happened inspired by, you know, my personal experiences. We worked on it. We had basically almost 2 years of, you know, just working on the songs, finishing the writing, recording them with the different producers, released it in 2023, and it was well received. I'm so happy that people loved it. I think people are also just like so excited because they've been wanting those types of songs from me. Kind of teased it with Headache, because I think that's the only single I have that's like, you know, about love outside of everything else. So people really loved it. And what I love about that EP is, I think it's a very good representation of the evolved Joby Jay.
Right.
Because honestly, if you had told me that I would have wrote the song that I wrote on Love Levels in 2019, I would have been like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But you know, I think my evolution as a person, as a young woman, it is going to line up with my music. So the more I evolve and change and learn more about myself, and you know, maybe my ideas may change, it's gonna come out in my music. So
Right.
yeah, and I love Love Levels because I really dived into the genres that I really love. So you have Last Time and Real Love, that's reggae, right? You have Bear, that is almost like an R&B dancehall track.
Right.
You have Prove It and Feelings. Prove It is Afrobeat, Feelings is an amapiano track. You know what I'm saying? TLC is like more dancehall vibe. So I love it because I've always said, you know, that I'm a fusion artist. I'm a fusion reggae artist. So even though I do reggae, you're gonna get a little jazz vibe. You're gonna get a little neo soul. So even Big Girl Thing, when Big Girl Thing starts, you don't know that it's a reggae song. You're thinking it's like a ballad. You think it's like a ballad, you know, like kind of maybe like Adele vibes.
Right.
And then you hear the drum roll and you're just like, wait, oh, you know.
That's exactly the reaction.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my EP is just such a good representation of me as an artist in terms of my sound and how I want to continue to, you know, just have fun with the genres and fuse different sounds and fuse different vibes. Yeah, and I think even my songwriting, you can see that it has gotten better with that project as well. So yeah, that's been my baby, and I still love performing those songs. It's just it's really been good.
Nice.
It's really been.
Do you have a favorite song on that EP?
On the EP,
I know it's kind of hard, but because
I have a favorite song every couple months. But
Good answer.
right now, I think my favorite song is TLC because it's such a good track. I feel like you hear that song and it's almost impossible for you to not want to dance because it's just like TLC, you know, and it's catchy. It's very like punchy, so I love it. And it's
okay,
like
hold on real quick. Let's do this.
So yeah, I think that's my favorite right now. Are you gonna play it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Stressed out, baby, I can tell that you're stressed out. Looks like you need some time away from all this pressure. Yes, sir. Come with me, I'll ease your mind. You need some TLC. Baby, I can give you everything you need. Let me take care of you. I'll make sure it's worth it. Do you right, cause you deserve it. I aim to please, come taste and see.
Boy, that's the type of song that have your DMs lit. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I have some of that TLC?
May I have some of the TLC, please? Just one drop of TLC, please.
Oh man, this.
Listen.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you're such a pleasure to talk to, man. Okay, is there an album coming soon?
Yeah, what's next?
What's next?
What's next is the singles. Singles is what is next. I'm not working on an album right now. I think, you know, I have Love Levels, which I'm still trying to push as much as I can, even though it was released in 2023. And yeah, I think right now maybe an album, maybe in the next 2-3 years or so. You know, let's see how the music goes. And I think also when I do an album again, I think I really also want there to be a demand for it. So I'm hoping that this year is a really good year, and I think it has started off well in terms of, I think I've gained so much new followers and new fans, you know, from that one video, the same video that you saw. It has been going crazy on social media. My following has doubled. I have so many new people messaging me saying, hey, I don't know how I didn't know about you before, but I know about you now, and I'm loving the vibe. So this year, I'm just really trying to see how I can, you know, grow my fan base and have more listeners, have more people who are actually streaming the music, buying the music. And when I do an album, I really want there to be like a demand. I want people to be like, okay, Joby, we want an album.
Right.
You know, saying? Because it's not like I don't have songs. I could make an album right now if I wanted to, right?
Exactly.
But I really want it to be something that people really, really, really want from me, so that when I put it out, it's well received. You know, it can, you know, actually make money. Because I mean, yeah, we love music, but we want
Come
to
on,
earn.
man. You want to eat off of it.
We want to earn.
Yeah.
And I mean, music is such an investment. There's so much money I have to push into
Right.
in an album, you know? So I just really want it to make sense the next time I do an album. But right now, I just want to release more singles. There's a couple songs that I have that I'm excited to release, to work on, and just give people more of what I have to offer. And then, you know, as the fan base grows and I start to tour and do all those things, then I think that will be the best time to release an album. You know, so I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush.
I also see some acting in your future, because you can do serious stuff, drama. You definitely can do comedy. Definitely can do comedy. You know what I mean? You ever thought about that? Is that something you ever pondered? Like, okay, one day I may do that. I know
you know, I don't know. I think I'm more of like, I don't know. I feel like if I was to say I'm gonna do comedy seriously, there's a thought of the fact that I have to plan it and like maybe write some jokes and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm more of a just like in the person, you know, real life thing, and it just happens and it's funny. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But acting, I see where that could definitely be something that I try. They actually reached out to me for the Bob Marley movie when they were doing the cast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they reached out to me for the Bob Marley movie. That was my first time doing anything like that. I messaged all of my actress friends, you know, because I went to a performing arts school, so I have a couple of friends who did drama. So I was just like, guys, they're asking me for a self-tape. I don't know what this is, how you know, and they were the ones who guided me on how to deal with the script and how to shoot the video. So I submitted it. You know, obviously I didn't get chosen, but that
Which
was
role?
You know, they actually wanted me to play young Rita. They wanted me to play young Rita.
Okay,
wow.
nice.
Hey man, I think you would have been great for that. I think.
Yeah. First of all, I had such imposter syndrome when that whole thing happened, because I was just like, me, I don't even act. I've never acted before. I don't know the first thing about acting. You know, I was just like, why me? I was just like, ugh, you know, and everybody was just like, Joby. First of all, you can sing, you have the look, you know, like,
and you have the vibes. Yeah,
you know, and the personality is there. So it was very shocking to me when my manager was just like, Joby, if she screenshot the email and she sent it to me, I was just like, what? You know, but I'm very happy that I gave it a try, you know, even though it was something that I've never done before. I gave it an honest try, and it's just nice to know that, you know, even though I didn't get the part or I didn't get to participate in the movie, it's nice to know that people are seeing what I do and seeing the potential. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I took it as a compliment, but you know, I'm open to expanding myself as much as possible. I don't want to put myself in a box. You know, I think, how am I gonna grow if I just put myself in a box and be like, oh, I'm a singer, so I'm just gonna sing.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, I'm open to whatever this journey is gonna bring.
By the way, when I say comedy, I wasn't really seeing you on stage like telling jokes, even though I think you could.
Oh.
I meant more like in a, you know, like a series, like, you know what I mean, like a.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like an actor. But you know, I think you can do that too. Joby Jay, the comedian. Hey, how you? Never mind, because I'll be a terrible comedian. Uncle El, you got anything else before we let Joby go? Because we can talk to you all day.
Definitely. No, this has been fun. Definitely enjoyed it. I guess one thing I would ask, I know you talked about wanting to be uplifting, but you know, at the end of the day, maybe this would be a good summary, but at the end of the day, you know, when people reflect and you say, okay, I knew Joby Jay, I heard of Joby Jay, and you know, like, what do you want people to get from the experience of Joby Jay?
You know, I want people to not only feel good, I want people to be inspired to love on themselves. I want people to be inspired to love on the people around them, you know, whether that be your family, your friend, your partner. I also want people to be inspired to do some introspection and think about their life and think about their journey. And I want people to listen to my music and just be prompted to appreciate life, you know, appreciate life. That is why I wrote Cool Breeze. I wrote a song about cool breeze. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I want people to do. And I also want, when people think about Joby Jay, I want people to think of, that girl was herself. She showed up as herself, you know, in authenticity. She showed up. She was, just tenacious and somebody who believed in herself. And I hope that also inspires people to believe in themselves, So that's what I want people to think about when they think about Joby Jay. That's my vibe. That's my goal. That's my aim.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Drop the mic. I mean, I'm not gonna drop my mic because I want to buy another one, but
It's probably expensive. You don't want to.
I guess one last thing, how can people connect with you, follow you, social media, all that good stuff?
Well, I am Joby Jay on all platforms. Or wait, I always sing my name. I have to sing my name. So I am Joby Jay. Right. Yeah.
Bop, bop,
So
bop.
Joby Jay on all platforms. I'm on all streaming platforms, so Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, everywhere. And if you want to follow my journey, if you want to see what I'm wearing, how I'm doing my hair, what interview I'm doing, what performance I'm doing on social media. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, Joby J Music, all platforms. JOBYJAY Music. Yeah.
Well, my sister, it's been a pleasure. I am about to go to the gym and listen to Joby J my whole session. And I'm going to listen to Love Levels. Every song.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure talking to you. This was a great interview. I mean, you are so
Definitely.
special.
Thank you.
It's ridiculous. I think part of the specialness, if there's such a word about you, is that you are yourself.
Thank you. I do my best. I
know
mean,
what I
I
mean?
don't know if anybody else. I don't know. I've only been myself. So that's what I know.
Right. I just think that sometimes people feel like they have to be a certain way to be accepted. But then
definitely.
you can the energy they give in that space is that it's kind of forced and it's not natural. It's not real. Maybe that's why people resonate with you so much, because you're just real. Like when I saw that little video clip, I'm like, I'm going to her page right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it was the music, but it was your persona also.
Vibe, just the energy.
Just the vibe and the energy, man. The vibration you put out. And I don't know who came up with the idea to do that, if it was you or your manager, but it got us here. You know what I mean? And
I'm grateful. I think this is probably my third interview that was prompted by that video, and I'm just grateful because I'm just trying to put myself out there. I tell people all the time, social media is free. Sometimes I wish I had the capital and the budget to get the most expensive PR package and get the most expensive marketing, but sometimes I don't have it as an upcoming artist. I don't have it. So what I have is social media, so I just try my best to use it to the best of my ability. However I can present myself, put myself out there, that's what I do, and I'm glad it's working, because here we are.
Come on, man.
Right.
And
it doesn't take money to go viral, but it takes authenticity to go viral. So.
And our shows on Saturday night, we have a 2-hour reggae show. We're gonna be busting some Joby Jay, and we're gonna play excerpts of this interview too. You know what I mean? Because of course we've been interviewing for over an hour now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
it was so long.
It's hella cool, bro. I mean, I'm talking about this. It's hella cool. Talking to you is just like we just said like, okay, we're gonna go, and then we still talking. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. We're just hella cool. So hopefully this is a relationship we can grow and build. And whenever you have new music, just reach out to have your manager. Hey man, new song. And we'll we'll bust the song. We'll make a little video. We'll send it to you. You know what I mean? And once I finish editing this video, then Uncle L will send it out to you guys also. So that's about it. Thank you, my sister. Nothing but love.
Yeah, man, for sure.
You know I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here and, seeing what I do and thinking I'm worthy enough for an interview. So I appreciate it for sure. Yeah.
All right.
You are.
Guys. Yeah, man. Have a good day. Oh, before I go, I wish part in the day. Are you guys
Houston.
are overseas?
Houston.
Okay.
Yeah, Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Okay, what time is it there?
Right now is what is it?
1:15.
Yeah, 1:15.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Oh, so it's the same time. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Our time is same time as Jamaica Central Standard Time.
Okay, nice. All right, cool. Well, big up Houston. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Houston gonna know about Joby Jay and shit. The whole world, man. The world. You know what I mean? Yeah, so
Love-
now we get to say this interview, and when you get to the level where we have to call 400 people to get to you, we're like, you know what I mean? Hey, man, remember? Nah, I'm playing. I think we'll all be able to get in touch with you. Have a good
But
day, my sister. Nothing but love.
yes,
Blessings.
you too. Thank you so much. Big
Yeah,
up.
man. Respect.
Respect.